Hi everyone, we have prepared this video today to help incoming international students to be fully prepared for everything you may need when coming to study in Canada for the first time, and also to be aware of current COVID regulations. Before we jump into it, we would love to introduce our organization. We are part of the Canadian Student Relief Charity, a rapidly expanding government-registered charity centered around students' needs. At CSR, we strive to provide support for students nationwide by providing financial support for students facing dire situations, along with mentorship, workshops, events, and more important information for students through our social media. For more information about our impact, feel free to visit our website and follow us on our social media platforms.
So before you come to Canada, your luggage will be a big part of your preparation. And we would like to share some tips for creating your ultimate packing list. It will be divided into 3 parts to explain: carry-on baggage, checked luggage, and prohibited products. First is carry-on baggage tips. There are 4 main kinds of items that should be carried with you: necessary documents, money, health and safety products, and electronic devices or gadgets. So necessary documents would be the most important things that you need for boarding and entering Canada, and the details will be presented later. For the money, except of the debit and credit cards, bring some cash of your countries, and Canadian currency is recommended, but no more than 10,000 Canadian dollars. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it's better to bring some health and safety products. For example, sanitizer, masks, as well as medicines, etc. And of course, some electronic devices should be carried with you as well, like phones, laptops, chargers, power banks, and so on. There are some other things it's also recommended to bring with you. Keep a pen and paper handy for noting down some things, a piece of paper recording important phone numbers and addresses in case the phone is lost, a compact umbrella, and a spare coat. Move to our most important part, the necessary documents. Here is the list for you, and you can have a screenshot if you need. Passport, temporary resident visa, or ETA number of approval for non-United States citizens. Letter of introduction for your study permit issued to you by a Canadian visa office. Letter of acceptance or offer from your school. A proof of enrollment for the current or upcoming term. 14 days quarantine plan. Proof of a negative COVID-19 test result. Valid immigration medical examination results if coming from a designated country or territory. I have also organized some other documents for you which may be useful in the future. So below is the list. Proof of tuition payment, proof of sufficient funds for at least your first year, or proof of financial statements. Address of where you'll be living long-term. Copy of your English language proficiency scores. Official academic transcripts from past education. Official English or French translation of birth or marriage certificates if you are coming to Canada with your spouse or common law partners or dependent children. Proof of a co-op job if you're entering for a co-op work term. Other government-issued photo identification cards from your country. Various translated notarized documents if have, like certificate of birth, certificate of non-criminal record, diploma or degree, and a driver's license. And also, the soft copies of all documents are recommended. Second part is checked luggage tips. It includes daily supplies, clothing, electronic gadgets, and medications. So for the daily supplies, you can prepare some items that you need for use for the first month, like toiletries, glasses or eye contacts, stationery, bed linens, and water bottle. In terms of clothing, we recommend bringing different types of clothing to suit this changing climate. But don't bring too much clothes, sorry, but do not bring too many clothes. Preparing 2 weeks of clothing is enough. Here is a general list for you. Lightweight clothing, light and heavy jackets, winter clothes, winter coats, scarf, gloves, hat, sport shoes, and water boots, also pajamas and a slipper. And last one, you can also prepare one formal outfits. It will be required for formal presentation and occasions. About electronic gadgets, you can bring some like adapters for laptop or tablet use, conversion plug, power strip, hard drives, etc. While for the medication, just bring some commonly used items, but please note that the medication must come with the original label and the instruction for use, and bring the copy of a prescription if possible. Last part of your luggage tips is about prohibited products. So here the image introduces the restrictions about what is allowed to bring and what is not allowed. Please have a check before you enter Canada.
So due to the pandemic, travel has become very difficult, and there's one main question everyone's asking. Do I have to quarantine? So if you're fully vaccinated, you're completely exempt from quarantine. However, not all vaccines are eligible for this. If you are vaccinated with Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, or Johnson & Johnson, you are completely exempt from quarantine. So if you're not fully vaccinated, then you will have to quarantine for 14 days. So I made a list of do's and don'ts when in quarantine. So when you're in quarantine, do call close friends and family. You don't want to be isolated, and it will be good for your mental health to talk to friends and family. Keep your mind busy through reading books or writing journals. Also, another good thing is to eat healthy and exercise. So this will all help you through the whole 14-day quarantine period. Some things you don't want to do during your quarantine is break the quarantine regulations. So breaking the quarantine regulations could lead to cancellation of your student visa or deportation. So you completely don't want to do this. Another thing you don't want to be doing is being on social media for too long. It can be draining and be bad for your mental health. Don't isolate yourself and don't get paranoid, because sometimes when you're in quarantine for too long, you tend to get worried about your health, and you just need to be sure that everything's okay. So what to consider when choosing a phone plan? So some calling is not free in all countries. So are you going to be making a bunch of international calls? So you have to consider that when choosing your phone plan. Another thing to consider is how much data you will need. Are you going to be in a place where there's always Wi-Fi, like campus or home? Then you might not need such a big data plan. However, if you're going to be out and about, you might consider getting a bigger data plan. Another thing to consider, of course, is your budget. Average phone plans in Canada go for around $50 to $60, I believe. Another factor to consider is if you want to get a phone here or if you want to bring your own phone. So if you do get your phone here, um, the monthly payments will be slightly higher because you are paying off your phone, and for your phone plan as well. One thing I would personally recommend is to avoid prepaid plans because if you do go over the limit, they tend to overcharge you a bit. So as you can see below, here's some of the phone companies you can use. Some examples like Rogers, Fido, Telus, Bell, Virgin Mobile. Mm, Now, there's some things to consider when opening a bank account. So, um, for example, distance from your bank. Um, Usually, sometimes you may have to talk to a person at the bank as it'd be easier to communicate. So this would be one thing to consider. Another thing to consider is if you're an investor, for example, do you want higher interest rates? You could put your money in a higher interest savings account, such as EQ or Tangerine, for example. Um, Another thing to consider is bank rewards. So things like scene points, air miles, cashback systems on your credit cards. And another thing to consider would be your credit provided by a credit card. If you expect to spend more on your credit card, you might want to get a card that has a bigger limit, but do be cautious about your credit score. So if you don't pay your credit card back in time, it could affect your credit score and um, it could affect how you can borrow in the future and your future interest rates. Another thing to keep an eye on is the fees of the bank. So most student bank accounts won't have transfer fees or monthly pay or monthly bank charges. So that's not such a big thing to worry about. You could research into the customer service of each bank and find out which would be ideal for you.
Almost all universities have the following helpful departments, which you can keep in mind whenever you need a type of support system. International Student Services is the first stop for all international students. International students are a valued part of any university or college community, and there are some kind of international student center at your school. Some of the things that this service can help you with are figuring out what documents you need, where to submit them, applying for permits, providing you with updates for being a student in Canada, or just general information about the grocery stores, the language, laws and safety rules. So feel free to check that out. The second one would be the Office of Register. The departments of the Register's office often include student recruitment, admissions, aid and awards, communications, records, scheduling, exams, and student services. This office handles scheduling conflicts, exam schedules, OSAP and awards, and keeps track of your student record. This is the office that most students will find themselves needing at one point or another. The third one is the Student Success Center. At any school, they are there to help you thrive and succeed. They offer career advice, help you set goals, develop skills, experience. And anytime you feel overwhelmed, stressed, or need a bit of guidance, check out this department.
For academic advising, this department will help you with any academic questions you may have. They will provide you with your specific faculty contacts, as well as help you plan your academic future with the school based on your goals. This department will also help you with booking one-on-one discussions with an academic advisor whenever you need an extra little support. The Careers Services Department will likely be a part of the Student Success Center. This department will help you reflect on your interests and identify your personal skills, explore career and educational paths and options with you, connect you with people and opportunities, and help you develop your skills and gain experience. They will also provide support for students who identify as a member of an equity-seeking group or have barriers to employment. Some of the services they may offer include career counseling, career decision-making, experience building, job search, further education, and events. The Student Wellness Center department may be the most important department of them all. This is the place that provides you with counseling options, medical services, and wellness programs so that you can thrive at the school, not only academically, but personally. This center will provide you with the one-on-one support, whether it be for a counseling session, medical concern, or overall health and wellness education. Keep this department in mind always, as your mental and physical health should always come first.